Hey everyone!
Playing from iPhone.
Alexa, disconnect from my iPhone. Okay. She was trying to record from there. Okay, so today I want to talk about marketing. Online marketing, and to kind of explain to you exactly what levels of marketing that you need to be hitting to have a successful marketing strategy. But before we talk about all of that, I want to kind of share a story from my childhood. So, little backstory, whenever I go to create these videos, I do my best to try to see how I can make it make sense for you. And so, as I was kind of drafting this last night, I was getting ready to figure out how to make this make the most sense for you. I was reminded of this totally horrific experience that I had. Now, horrific is subjective because whenever I experienced this, I was like 15, maybe 14 years old. So everything that was remotely embarrassing was horrific in my eyes. Now I'm a lot better at laughing at myself, which is why I'm sharing it today. But I had to chuckle and I was like, this is so perfect to share. So if you were a part of the conversation on my Facebook post last night, hey Leandra, you saw me ask about tubing and if that's a thing anywhere else besides Texas. Now, I've learned that it is pretty much known geographically, it's just called something different. So when I was a child, I was tubing with my family, and tubing in the way like floating on the river. So you sit in an inner tube, you float on the river for like a really long time. Honestly, it's very relaxing. I enjoy it. But we went as a family. And like I said, I was probably about 15 years old. I think I was a sophomore in high school. So, you know, I was pretty cool at that time. And I knew that the older kids that went to school with me, the ones that could drive, would always drive to the river, and they would spend weekends at the river, do things that were cool that they were probably not supposed to be doing, that I know for a fact they weren't supposed to be doing. But that's what all the cool kids did, right? So I was like, oh heck yes, I'm going to the river. This is my first time as a very sheltered sophomore. But I had to go with my family. That was the setback. So I'm at the river with my family. We all get on tubes and I'm like in my cutest bathing suit, like so ready to like lock eyes with my Prince Charming as he's floating the river with his much older friends. And my family insists that we all are roped together. So a lot of times when you go in groups, they have these big ropes and you can rope your tubes together so that everybody stays together and it's like a pack. Which is cool if your pack is like a bunch of cool, gorgeous friends, but my pack was my parents and my younger sister. So we were like all roped together, and I finally convinced them and had an attitude long enough that my mom was like, I don't even want you around. Fine, disconnect yourself from our pod. So I disconnected from my pod. Shortly after, we go and we come across this chute, and I'm not very river savvy, so I don't know if this is totally normal. So you can tell me if you know about tubing on the river. But there's these things called chutes. And so I guess there's to like give you momentum so that you don't get stagnant, because it's a really slow float on the river. So there's these chutes to give you momentum, which is what I'm saying that they are. And so we're like put on this chute. That is Gina. Hey Gina, you're in Austin, aren't you? Because I'm talking about we're floating on the Guadalupe River. So we go on this chute, and it's like, if this is the river, there's like a dam and then like this tiny little chute over here on the right. So actually what had happened, and my mom's gonna kill me, but my mom and my sister went over the edge of the dam and it was messed up for them. But I went through the chute. Me and my dad went through the chute. And as I went through the chute, it was intense. Like I knocked off my tube, like I went underwater. My tube was like 3 feet away, and I got caught in a current. So I'm like swimming my butt off, trying to get out of this current, and it's just spinning me around and like pulling me back and spinning me around. And so I'm like trying my hardest to get out of this current, and it's just going, and it's slow too. It wasn't even fast. Like, it was just ridiculous that it was just this slow current, but the pull was so hard that I couldn't get out, and my dad had to rescue me, and like the really hot people that I was trying to impress were floating by laughing, just like not even paying attention to me, but I was so embarrassed. So anyways, all of that to say, I don't know why, Gina, I thought you were in Austin. She's like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so anyways, all of that to say, that current is exactly what's going on. If you are trying to market your business online and you're only hitting 1 or 2, certainly not all 3 of the levels that I'm going to talk about today in this video, and and you're just going to keep getting pulled. Like, you are probably trying, you're putting all of the content out there, you're showing up in these places, but you're not hitting each of the levels, and that's what's happening to you. You're a sophomore, Michaela, trying your hardest to get out of a current and stuck. So let me get my notes here so we can get started. But I want you to remember this. I want you to always remember me in this terrible moment. Hey, Chrissy. Me in this terrible moment. Embarrassing. It was like the bane of my existence whenever I was a child. So that you don't have to do this when you're marketing online. So my loss is your gain. Okay, so the most common complaint that I hear whenever people come to me about marketing online is they're like, I'm doing XYZ, I read it on a blog, I heard it in your videos, yada, 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 and it's not working for me. And they're just like, why is this? Like, I keep showing up, I keep, connecting with people on social media, or I post every single day. What is going on? Why am I not signing clients? And the thing is because you have to, those things are good, but if you're not hitting each one of these marketing levels that we're going to talk about today, it's just like you're stuck in that current. You're putting out all of these efforts and you're trying really, really hard, but you don't have all of the gears working for you. And so instead of like a nice flowing river, you're in a current, you're working really hard in a current, okay? So what we're going to talk about, or the levels that we're going to talk about, I'm going to go ahead and just tell them to you, and then we're going to explain them a little bit in depth. So if you have a pen or paper, at least jot down these, and if you can't watch the whole thing, come back later so you can fill in what they're about so that you can actually know what's going on. So the first layer is outside of your realm of influence. So that's like people that don't know who you are, they don't know your name, they don't know what you're about. It's like those people that were floating by on the tube. They did not even know me. They were outside of my realm of influence. So the people that don't know who you are, outside your realm of influence, that's the first layer. The second layer is inside of your realm of influence. So these are people that know of you. So maybe they don't really know exactly what you do, but you have had an introduction with them. You've had the opportunity to talk to them. Those are people that are inside of your realm of influence. You can reach them easily. And the third layer is an incubator. So these are people who have expressed interest in what it is that you have to offer, whether it be a product or a service. Usually we're able to tell this by somebody opting into your email list, a freebie, somebody joining your Facebook group or your VIP group, things like that. But these are people that have voiced their interest, expressed interest in what it is that you have to offer. And it's only a matter of time until they buy your product or want to work with you or whatever it is. But they're as close as they're going to get to your offer without actually buying it. So those are the things. So the reason that it's really important for you to have all of these things working is because if you are, let's talk about a current for a second. So if you are constantly posting on your social media page, okay? Hey, Madison. If you're constantly posting on a social media page and you think, I'm so active, I'm always putting content out there, yada, 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 nobody ever comments on my stuff or nobody ever engages in my stuff, but you're not actively getting more people from outside of your realm of influence in, and then you're certainly not incubating them and actually like making them warming them up and getting them ready to buy from you, then you're just going to keep circulating them on your realm of influence. Same thing. If you're down here and you're like working your Facebook group, but you're not actually growing your Facebook group, you're not bringing people from outside of your realm of influence in and then moving them to your Facebook group, then you're just stirring the same pot over and over and over again, and you're not able to like circulate people in and out. Does that make sense? And then of course, if you're just like doing all this outreach and you're just like meeting all these new people all over the place, but then once they've met you, you're not doing anything with them, same thing. If you're doing any of those, but you're not doing all of them, you're stuck in a current and you're working really, really, really hard to do nothing, basically, just to keep them in the same place that they are. And that's why it's so important for you to have a funnel, something that's like constantly moving people in and through your offers. And I say funnel and then I cringe saying it, because I know that that's kind of a thing that people feel a little yucky about. But the thing is everything's a funnel. If it's a process that takes people from a step to another step, then it's a funnel. It doesn't have to be gross unless you make it gross. So don't think that just because you have a funnel or you have a plan that it's calculated and disgusting and gross. It's not. Funnels are just a process. It means that you have a method to your madness. It means that you're not just wasting your time doing a bunch of pointless actions. Funnels are good. Funnels are good. So let's talk about outside of your realm of influence. So that's our first one, right? This is a way to get people who have never heard your name to knowing your name, knowing that you exist, putting you on their radar, even if for a second. Little disclaimer with all of this stuff is that there are so many ways to do this, and not all of them are going to be like just social media specific. Of course, social media is great. It plays a really good role in you growing your business, but it's not everything. And it's certainly not everything in online marketing. There's other ways to do online marketing without social media. That was a little tangent. But outside of your realm of influence these are going to be things like networking in different networking groups. So meeting people who are either operating in your industry, so other industry professionals that you can build relationships with. Don't forget about relationships. That's something that a lot of people forget about, is like inter-industry relationships. Those are really big. I mean, don't focus all of your energy on that, but certainly take some time to have a few really good friends that you just vibe with in your industry. You're not direct competitors, but you can complement each other. It's so huge, and it will really help you out. If it's just kind of a general rule of thumb. Like if you're good to people, then it's going to come back to you in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't mean you expect it from people, but it is going to come back to you. And I think, just a pause, that's the beauty of doing business from a relationship marketing place, is you get to just be good to people and trust that it's going to come back to you. So anyways, networking in networking groups, getting to know people who share the same industry as you, or people who are your ideal client. So networking in groups where your ideal client hangs out. So that's a group that somebody else runs. Obviously use discretion and don't go like poaching other members from somebody else's group, but just participating, engaging, providing value in somebody's group within their rules and within their guidelines is a great way to connect with people who might possibly want to work with you in the future, or who may be interested in what you have to offer. Another really good thing, and this is something that I do, is podcasts. So being on other people's podcasts, if you're able to go and provide value to somebody else, and be interviewed on their show, or do a training on their show, do a training in their Facebook group, do a guest blog on their blog, whatever, YouTube channel, there's so many different ways. But going into somebody else's group, I call this network hacking. So it's like, again, you scratching their back by providing value or giving them content to share with their people. And then in return, you're being exposed to them. And a lot of times they're going to share your information with their audience and things like that. So smart strategic partnerships in that way are a really good way for you to continue to get your name out there and to bring new people from outside of your realm of influence to inside of your realm of influence. So you can brainstorm, you can think of several ways. I would actually encourage you to brainstorm and think of several ways that you can bring people from outside of your realm of influence in. Just jot down all the ways that you can think of and then start focusing on one at a time, just one at a time, and do that for all of these actually. So that way you'll have a wealth of things that you can try, but baby step it. Don't try to do it all at once. Don't go from 0 to 100. That will just lead to burnout. So the second level inside of your realm of influence, okay? So this is once people have been, introduced to you somehow. That means that maybe they friended you on Facebook, maybe they followed you on Instagram, connected with you on LinkedIn, followed you on Twitter. You get the idea. So I like to see this as like the initial handshake, like, hi, how you doing? I'm Michaela Irvin. This is what I do. And now we've met, right? So somebody comes inside of your realm of influence, you've got to nurture it and you've got to nurture it often. Okay. So like 7 out of 10 times, the people that come to me and say that they're posting on social media and nothing's happening for them post once a week or less. Okay. And the thing about social media in particular is that social media is busy and it is loud. And there are so many people on here screaming their message and posting their stuff and trying to get your attention and trying to get your ideal client's attention. And it's so important for you to contribute to the valuable noise. I almost just said contribute to the noise. We don't want to just contribute to the noise, but you want to be putting valuable content out there and staying relevant for people. I'm going to give you some statistics, and you may have heard me say these before, but I will continue to say them until I'm blue in the face. It's worth it for you to hear that only about 6% of your following ever sees your stuff. Seriously, it's so true. 6% of your following ever sees your stuff thanks to the algorithm, thanks to, all of the different factors, the fact that people are connected with more than just you. Only 6% ever see your stuff. On top of that, it takes people anywhere from 3 to 7 or more times to see something, the same call to action, and to take action on it. So doing that math, you can tell that it's going to take a lot of times for you to be putting your message out there, for it to finally click in somebody's head and them to take action on it and get all the way through your funnel. Okay? So that should be motivation for you. I don't want it to discourage you. I want it to be motivation for you to keep talking, to keep sharing your message, and to not worry about annoying somebody. If you annoy somebody, they weren't going to buy anyways. Okay? So it's really important for you to stay in the game and to have a content strategy, especially on social media and within your realm of influence, that is going to continue to stir the pot, continue to get you noticed and get in front of those eyes, but also to reuse your content, okay? You don't have to come up with something brand new and fresh 4 times a day, every day, or 3 times a day, or 1 time a day. You don't have to do that. It's really, really, really important for you to milk your content that you're creating for everything it's worth, and then to use it again. Because again, if it takes somebody, if only 6% of your following is ever seeing your stuff, and then it takes them like 1,000 times to see it to even take action on it, then it's so important for you to be wise with your time, work smarter, not harder, and to get the most out of your content as possible, okay? So think of ways that you can continue to connect with your ideal client in your realm of influence, but also how you can repurpose and reuse what you've already done. Because there's no reason to get overwhelmed. I don't want you to leave this video saying, oh my God, Michaela said that I have to do like 1,000 times more than what I'm already doing, and I'm so nervous about that. No. That's not what we're doing. I want you to be encouraged that you can take a break. You can take this whole week off if you want from creating content, and you can go back to old pieces of content that you've created and repurpose them. Okay, if they're still relevant, if they're still, pushing them towards a call to action that you want them to take action on, use it. If not, tweak it a little bit if you can. Seriously, get as much out of your content as you can. And go digging through my content and see how I have repurposed my stuff, because I guarantee you there's been times where I've straight up copy and pasted. So it's good. It's good news for you, this. The last thing that we're going to talk about is your incubator, okay? So this is where people have opted in, they've expressed interest, they've said, yes, I want to work with you, or I want what you have to offer, maybe not now, but eventually. And they're basically saying that they like your vibe and they want to keep learning from you, or they want to keep hearing about what you offer, okay? So really, and this will be a test for you, if you can think of other ways that you can have an incubator, tell me, because basically what we've got here is an email list and a Facebook group. Those are the ones that stand out in my mind, where somebody can actively opt in and say, yes, I'm interested. And then you can continue to nurture them until they've actually bought. So usually this happens from you creating free content, whether that be a free space in the form of a Facebook group for people to hang out in, or it's, your email list where you've created free value, or you've said, hey, subscribe to my email list and I'm going to send you tips every week, or whatever you've said. And this is how you continue to nurture them. They've said, yes, I want those tips, or yes, I want to be in your community. And this is your incubator, okay? So again, showing up in your incubator and being very bold with your calls to action in your incubator is crucial, because like I said, these people would not be there if they didn't want to hear more from you, okay? They have actively said, yes, I want to hear more from you. Here's my email list, or here, add me to your Facebook group, and I want to hear more from you. So it is just flat out silly for you to not pitch to them, to not ask for a sale, because you think that they don't want to hear about it, okay? I can kind of see it on your Facebook page. I can kind of see it on your Instagram, feeling that like, I don't want to annoy people. But again, if they're annoyed, they will unfriend you, they will unfollow you. But if they have opted into your email list, or they have opted into your Facebook group, girl, you better be selling. Nobody is not, like, I have been on this earth for a little while, and nobody has walked up to me yet and said, hey, I just really want you to have this money. Take it. Nobody has said that to me. I have to ask for it. I had to go get a job. I had to build a business and, pitch an offer to people lots and lots of times before they bought. And so if you're not asking for the sale, then you're not asking to rise as a business owner. You're not asking to make money with your business. So if people have opted into your incubator, please, please pitch them. They want it. They want what you have to offer, or they wouldn't be here. Okay. So that's those are the 3 layers. It's not kind of the 3 layers. It is the 3 layers. That's what I've got for you. And so I'm going to go back through them really fast, just because I know a couple of people have hopped on. So if you just hopped on, first of all, say hey. Second of all, make sure you go back and watch the rest of this, because I've just broken down the entire 3-layer marketing funnel that I teach my clients, my paid clients. But what those 3 layers are: first, outside of your realm of influence. So getting people from not knowing who you are to knowing of you and connecting with you. The second is inside of your realm of influence. So these are people who have met you, who know of you, and they're kind of vibing with you, whatever. It's the initial first handshake. And the 3rd layer is your incubator. So these are people who have actively said, I want what you have to offer, and I want you to tell me more about it until I'm ready to buy from you. And so these are people who are in your incubator. They are so close to buying, and you're just warming them up like little chicken eggs until they hatch, right? So this is what you have to have. And if, again, like I said, if you're not moving people if you're not working all of these things as a part of your marketing strategy every single week, some stuff every single day, then that is why you're not selling your offer. That is why you've not reached the income level that you want to reach. So don't go trying to change your offer. Don't go trying to change your pricing. Don't go trying to change anything about yourself. Just do what is required to get people to buy from you. And then you can start playing around with it. But seriously, one thing that I have to tell my clients is you have to be doing this, actively working all 3 levels of the marketing strategy for at minimum 30 days. Do everything exactly uniform for 30 days so that you can see what's working, all right? And then once you've done it for 30 days, you can start reviewing, start tweaking, start doing any of those little things that you might need to do to make changes and to start fine-tuning and making your marketing strategy work even better. But until you have at least 30 days of like basic foundational knowledge and data to pull from, then there's no use in changing anything, because it takes at least 2 weeks for things to even start catching up. Like once you've made changes, it takes about 2 weeks for it to actually take effect. And so if you start changing too much and changing too much too quickly, then you're not even gonna know what's going on. You're just gonna keep being frustrated and probably stay in that little current like I talked about at the beginning. So awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today, and let me know what follow-up questions you have about this, because marketing is my jam. It's what I do here, and I want to keep bringing you more answers to all of your questions. And of course, if you want to skip all of the trying to do it on your own and trying to figure this out, and you want to actually just have a marketing strategy, create one, and know that you're hitting all the steps and know that what you're doing is actually going to bring you clients, then we should talk this week. I've got 5, maybe 6 spots on my calendar this week for a breakthrough call. And what that is it's basically just you and I talking about, first of all, where you want to be in your business. Second of all, why you're not there yet. If it's where you want to be, why are you not there? And then third, making a plan of action to get you there. So as a coach, I'm going to look from an outside perspective and show you what I see is going on and what's blocking you from getting to that next level, so that you can cut it out and you can get there stat. And then of course, if I think it's a fit and you think it's a fit, then we will talk about what it looks like to work together. All right, you guys have a good day. Bye.